Hello, everybody. It is the me, Game Penguin 21, and today, oh boy. So I was made wary of this that MBG is someone I haven't talked about in quite a bit here. And to see him talking about, of course, the Nintendo thing. We're going to be doing a little bit of Nintendo stuff because I had to do some catch-up last week, so this week I'm going to be doing a little bit of catch-up from last week's stuff, so I'm a bit of behind on the things. Don't worry, I'm still going to see if I can get some random tweets for the next time, and this week I'm just going to have 2 videos uploaded and not 3, because, quite honestly, trying to upload 3 videos this week, it might be one of those things that's just going to be a little... but, at the end of the day, maybe I will upload 3, and... just whatever. But overall, what has happened here? Well, of course, Nintendo is still being kind of shamed and criticized and all that other good stuff for that reason. And today we're going to be taking a look at, of course, MBG. Now, MBG is usually a PlayStation fanboy, but he's today defending Nintendo's thing, which is very strange considering that Nintendo is doing probably the worst thing since... I don't know, the last worst thing that they did. I don't really have a comparison to it because they're increasing the prices yet again to a lot of stuff. Now, to be clear here on what I think about the Switch 2 news, again, since if you didn't see the last time I talked about the Switch 2 base price for the console, to me, that's fine, at least for the $450-ish. I don't think that that's absolutely terrible because, again, considering that it is going alongside, say, some of the other handhelds in the market, at least in terms of pricing for, the PC handhelds, that's not the worst thing. It's not good. It doesn't mean that it's a good pricing because, again, there's, other stuff to it. I think that it's okay considering the fact of a lot of the stuff around it. Now, as for the games, that's inexcusable. I was against $70 games 110,000%. This one I am 120,000% against because it is $80 games. This is bad. I don't really think that this is a good idea. There's no possible way that this is a good way to do it. If you want to get money, try to see if you can save money in other ways, but don't just put it more on there, especially because it's Nintendo. But obviously, that's more of just my personal opinion here. And, of course, if you heard me yap for about 2 minutes without actually seeing MBG's thing. So yeah, apparently the backstory is that they were trying to defend it in terms of the corporate stuff, and this is MBG trying to justify the defense of this. We might be taking a look at an article in a couple of weeks, so do take a look at that. So with that being said, let's get started with this video.
I don't look at it as John B saying he's encouraging Sony to do it. No, I think he's just being honest in that, again, man, right now, if you're willing to come out and publicly state, I'm willing to pay $80 for Mario Kart World, right? If you're that person, you're going against the grain of internet culture right now, which is no. We don't say we're gonna shame you now. And that is just the way it goes sometimes, where what John B is saying, I assure you, millions upon millions of people are in that same exact boat where they will pay if Sony comes out with the PlayStation 6 and they say, listen, going forward, games like God of War, games like The Last of Us Part 3, Spider-Man 3, they're going to be $80. There are millions upon millions of people who are going to be like, okay, it sucks, but yeah, I'll pay another $10 to have that game.
Okay, so I wanted to let him speak a little bit there because while true that in a lot of cases, and in specifically marketing and pricing cases, again, speaking as someone who's done a little bit of the actual schooling on this whole thing, the end-all be-all is that there is a price for everyone. However, the price that I have talked about, and an interestingly small example that I've brought up, and that I'll bring up here, is that I gave this out as when they were talking about pricing for a different product that's also digital or whatever. But when you have a product that has, say, 100 people that are willing to pay for it, you have about say 5% of people. You have to say 5 people that would pay for whatever price it is. You have about 15 for this price. You have about half, which is about 50 people. And then you have 35 whatever people. Whatever I broke it up as, the majority, about half, would pay the highest amount of $20. The next biggest slice would then be $10. The smaller slice would be that $5 or $10. And then the last slice would be they don't really care. Again, but the last slice is so insignificant, it's not really going to be that big of a deal. Now, again, I basically did out the math. If you did $20, $10, and $15, $20, $10, and $15, you then have a wide array of people. For the two extremes of $10 and $20, you get $1,000 of profit, more or less, if the prices were that way. But at the $15 mark, you actually get more money, despite the fact that you're actually kind of selling less copies. How does this work? Well, because the price to the amount of people that are there, about like 80 to 85%, actually gives you more money in terms of like math wise, because of how math kind of works. Because again, you're not charging too little to make less money, but like have to charge for more sales, and you're not doing more money, so you're losing sales, but you're kind of losing out on money. 15 was kind of that sweet spot. That Nintendo and most companies have to do this math makes me think, like, why are they doing this math and not, like, seeing the benefits of kind of trying to go in the middle where everyone already likes the price? It just makes more sense to do that. I don't know why, but again, the math is weird, and again, I just wanted to give that example again. So yeah, anyway, just because there are people out there that won't complain about the prices doesn't mean that the price isn't above criticism. I don't think that anything really is above criticism, at least personally. So there's also that.
On top of what I was already willing to pay. It's the idea that, like, we don't want to. It looks bad because it comes off as like, yeah, you're saying we should shame them. It looks bad because it comes off as like, yeah, go ahead, please raise the prices. Like, no, nobody's asking for price increases. We're asking for the opposite. We want to save money, right? We want games to go on sale. We would like to see the price of games go back to a standard of 60, right? But
yes, that is correct, and a lot of people would say that. But you encouraging and you buying and you saying that you're willing to pay X amount, which is the higher than standard for a thing, basically says to the company, yes, continue to raise the prices and I will buy, because that's how it works. That's how that actually thinks. Your actions have the consequences. The refusal to buy, or the refusal or the critique of the actual pricing, ends up looking bad when you think of brand awareness. Again, this has to come down to literal marketing and pricing stuff, and people that continuously say, like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, and what we do doesn't matter to these companies. No, it does. Just no one understands that, like, it's a marketing and pricing thing, and like, if you want sales, if you want lower prices, if you want all of the other stuff that you say that you want, and you don't want prices to be raised, maybe protesting isn't the way to really go, but at least showing critique and like showing that a vast majority of people don't want these prices to be increased, and talking about it and debating about it online shows like that shouldn't happen. Why are you saying that there are people out there that are willing to buy, like millions of people out there willing to buy, and yet also then saying people don't want prices to be increased? It's kind of really one or the other, and it's either a minority that wants the prices to be whatever they want it to be, or it's a majority or whatever, and it's very confusing of what you're trying to say here.
it's just the market reality, like I said, man, of that people people are going to decide what they want to do with their money, and a lot of people are deciding that they want to give their money to these products. That's just the reality. Like, you can't be angry at the companies for deciding that, well, can we get more money from our customers? If like, are they willing to pay more money? And if the answer is yes, they're willing to pay more money, that it's like, what direction is this really expected to go in? So
I mean, again, that just means nothing. I guess that's a whole load of nothing right there. Saying, "Oh yeah, we shouldn't blame the companies for raising prices." No, we can blame the company for raising the prices because they had to do all these maths and things, and them raising prices when the prices that they were working at actually kind of made it work, and we're doing okay, but they still need growth year over year for whatever reason, for the investors and blah 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 blah. But like, here's the deal. Shaming people for the money that they want to spend on a particular product usually doesn't go well for several reasons, obviously, because of one main thing is cognitive dissonance. I realized this when I was talking to at least one other person who said that they would pay $100 for GTA 6 because they're like, "Oh, I'm going to get hours upon hours of gameplay and stuff like that." And I was like, you really shouldn't be saying that because it kind of goes against a lot of the things you already talked about and a lot of the things you already are against for particular stuff. And he's like, well, let me be excited for a game. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying that what you're saying reflects on other people to then have the game be priced at the higher mark, which no one really wants, and they will actually end up losing out on sales. So it's like, it's either you win some, you lose some, or you lose everything, and it's annoying. And yeah, while that might not, in turn get people to change their minds per se, which I mean, these videos never really do. It's not really the point of the video. The point of the video is to create a talking point on the opposite end of the spectrum just to see what happens. But critiquing people's hypocrisy will always not only be just a thing in general, but will be just be a thing on the internet forever. It's just kind of how it goes, I guess.
The real question that has to be asked, I think, is what is the true tolerance level? Like, what is the breaking point? That's the question.
It should have been $70 games, but we saw how that went.
You know, I mean, angry whale watcher. People can be as angry as they want. People are going to be as angry as they want to be. I'm just saying that, like, the anger. If you're channeling that anger towards a corporation, there's nothing wrong with that. But you just have to ask yourself at the end of the day, like, what is it achieving? The reality, I'll give you a dose of reality here. The reality is a lot of the anger you see being thrown towards corporations from the people who are expressing that anger on a public stage, on social media, they're making money off of that. That's another reality that I think people kind of overlook. It's easy for a person who's making money off of being angry at greedy corporations to be angry at greedy corporations.
I'm not making a dime. I haven't made a dime off of any of these videos that I've been done here, and I have over 1,000 videos. Which, yeah, the reason why I only have 1,000 videos, the reason why I have 1,000 videos, at least on my channel, is because most of at least half of them are shorts, and the other half are shorts that I just decided to post daily and didn't understand shorts at the time, so I destroyed it, and I destroyed my channel a little bit in terms of like growth potential and whatnot. But anyway, the end all be all of what we're talking about here is some people are making money off of getting angry at corporations, and in some way, shape, or form, yes, I guess you're correct, but that's only like what 2%, maybe even not like being generous, I guess. Like there's a lot of people out there that are just doing this because they don't want the prices, and you're saying like, oh, there's millions of people that would actually want to pay for it, and like they'll replace it and blah 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 blah, and you're trying to be very apologetic to what is essentially just highway robbery, pretty much. I wouldn't say it's highway robbery entirely. It's more of just a person literally being overcharged for something. It is annoying to have to continue to say this, I guess. But here's the thing, right? Here's, I guess, the big point of this clip and why I don't think and why I don't agree with it. Just because you're willing to pay more money for something doesn't mean that everyone is, obviously. That's the dumb bit about that. But I'm kind of starting to sound like MBG. This is annoying, and I don't like that. Let's move on.
I think people are, kind of losing sight of that marathon event. The marathon event's happening on Saturday. It seems like it's going to be an event. They're kind of treating it like it's going to be some kind of bigger event. But a full proper gameplay reveal. It's people that don't have the extra disposable income that are the most mad. And that's understandable, right? I think you're completely correct about that. That sucks. It's like, yeah, man, people want to be involved in this. They want to partake in gaming. And there's probably no worse feeling than being priced out of it. It sucks. And that's why you see people be like, oh, if you don't have enough money, like, or poor shaming or whatever. It's like, no, I've been there many times, most of my life. Like, I get it, dude. Gaming is never, at least for me, gaming has never really been a cheap hobby. It's always been a particularly expensive hobby. And I remember, like, growing up, my parents were always so, frustrated. I was like, always like, oh, this new console and this new game. And, it was hard to keep up with. It still is hard to keep up with. So I get it. But, I do think that it's a situation where many millions of people are totally fine paying, a premium, essentially. Like, let's just face it, a premium to continue to engage in high-end gaming.
But there's also probably millions of people that don't want to do that, if you're going to be doing it to one side. But what's also just really, really dumb is the fact that there is a lot of people out there that are saying, don't do this, lower the price. When the actual live stream was happening for, like, the Switch or whatever, there was a lot of people in the chat that was literally just saying, lower the price, lower the price, lower the price. It's like, that was, I don't know what else to say there. Just that everyone in that chat was saying to lower the price, meaning that millions of people don't want the prices to be the way that they are right now, and that it's going to maybe kind of sort of lead to a crash. At least some people think that. I'm not sure if I'm in the camp of this is going to lead to a gaming crash again, but I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows at this point? Only the hands of time and God know, I guess. But to go back a little bit earlier and say, like, there's enough people out there with disposable income for that, it's like, but that's the problem. Most people, at least in today's economy, is living paycheck to paycheck. They can't engage with that. I know people like myself who can't, like, pay for video games or can't pay rent for things. Like, I don't necessarily pay rent, but if I did, the current job that I have wouldn't allow me to do, like, get anything. Like, I wouldn't probably even be allowed to get food at this point. And it's annoying. It's dumb. It's stupid. And it makes no sense as to why this isn't working. Or, well, I guess not. I guess that's dumb. But it just makes no sense why you're defending this, I guess, is my question. Like, why? Now, there's like a minute and 46 left of this video, and I don't really want to look at any more of it, and we're going on to the 20-minute mark, and I am just kind of tired right now, so yeah. Anyway, I think that's really the main points that I wanted to get across here, is that MBG, who normally is defending a lot of Sony's fluff and nonsense, is now defending Nintendo because they're saying, like, there is enough demand for it, even though majority of people that I see online are like, no, we're not going to do this, and we don't want this. And again, these are just the American pricings. America's pricing dollar is whatever the fuck. So they might have different pricing across other regions, and that pricing might be increased or decreased or something like that. It is fucking annoying to have all of these other stuff there. And yeah, certainly the American buying power is very big, but at the same time, yeah, it's very big and it's not as big and blah blah blah. Look, we can debate about this all day, and I can literally just, like, stroke the hairs and, like, nut all over just very weird numbers or whatever. At the end of the day, I think that $80 games and the current pricing and stuff and the current amounts of money that the corporations and stuff want is way too much for the current state of gaming, and unfortunately it's very likely that the price or the gaming AAA community might end up collapsing might end up collapsing, and then we might have another like Renaissance or another Phoenix Golden Age or whatever. But we will see, and that will be one of those things that ends up happening. Anyway, with all that being said, I think that'll about do it for this episode of I Rant Into This Microphone for an obscene amount of time to basically no one's real benefits, I guess. And if you like what it is I do, want to support me in any other way, shape, or form, links out to everything in the description below. My name is GamePango21, and a peace off.